Thanks for joining me. It's Lisa from Critters'n Ink Designs in Ontario, Canada. And today I just wanted to showcase a couple of cards that I made from Sale-a-bration products that are free with qualifying purchase. So the first one is the bundle, Softly Sophisticated. This bundle is free with a $120 purchase. And then I'm also showcasing the Softly Stippled paper, which is designer series paper 12 by 12, and it's also free with a $60 qualifying purchase. And just to let you know that Sale-a-bration is only around for one more week until the end of February. If you haven't taken advantage of it yet, you do have a week, and get out that wish list and feel free to place an order. If you live in Canada, I would love to be your demonstrator, if you don't already have a demonstrator. And if you're not familiar with what Sale-a-bration is, it is a rewards program that happens once a year from Stampin Up, and they reward the customers with free items with qualifying purchases. So let's get down to my desk and we'll see what we're doing today. So I'm going to be using the Softly Sophisticated, which is a Sale-a-bration item with a $120 purchase. And I'm going to do two cards that we did at my card class this week. The first card I'm going to do is this guy. Isn't it cute? So to do the card, I'll show you what we needed. So my card base is Highland Heather. And I have two pieces of basic white that are 4 by 5 1/4. And then I have a piece of gorgeous grape and basic white that are 2 1/4 by about 4 1/4. And to do the card, I'm going to cut out the largest of the tailored tags. Now you could use either one. I'm using the fancier one, but you could certainly use just the plain, one. And then I need also one of these little eyelet things, washers or whatever you call them, but I still have a couple left over from class from the other night, so I'll just use those. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run one of my pieces through the embossing folder. And so I know it's basic for us who have been doing it for a long time, but if you're fairly new, what I do, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, but this is how I do it, is I line up the bottom of my cardstock with the line on the front of the embossing folder. And then that way I know that it's true, like square. For a 3D folder, you need your base plate, which is number 1. There's always a menu, regardless of what machine you have, there's always a menu on the front that tells you, whatever you're doing. So if you're cutting out dies, then you would use 1, 2, and 2 3s, like plates. And then we're using a 3D embossing folder, so I'm going to use 1 and the gray one, which is 4. Okay. I pop that in there. And I've got my cardstock is in my embossing folder. And I'm just going to run that through and hopefully not hit anything on the other side. There. Oh, actually, you know what? While I've got this here, I'm going to switch plates and I'm going to cut out my dies. So for this, because I'm die cutting, I'm using my base plate, which is 1, my die cutting, I call it a shim. I guess that's what it is number 2, and then 2 number 3s. So I'm going to cut them out individually. I probably could cut them out 2 at a time, but I'm not going to. I want it nice and crisp. So there's number 1. Okay, I'm just gonna poke out my little hole there. Okay, and now I'll cut out my purple one, which is Gorgeous Grape. There. All right, let's put this away now. Okay, so here we have our two tags and our embossed piece for the front. And let me just grab some scrap paper because I don't want to, you can just get ink all over your glass table, but I actually don't want to do that. If I was working by myself, I probably would. But because I'm going straight on to another project, I'll do it on a piece of scrap paper. So I've got my Gorgeous Grape. And I have one of our brushes, which for some reason has embossing powder all over it. There. So I'm going to ink up a block here. Now you can rub your brush right into your ink pad, but mine I think is a little bit in need of being re-inked. So I'm just going to put ink on this block and oops. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do like an ombre effect. So it's going to be darker at the bottom and lighter up at the top. And it really doesn't take a lot of ink. There. Pretty easy. Okay, and I'll just clean this off with a baby wipe. Okie doke. So the next thing I want to stamp are my flowers. So let me grab my garden green. And I'm going to close my Gorgeous Grape and take out my Highland Heather. And, oh, stamps I need. So on this one, I'm going to do You're in My Thoughts. I've had a couple of requests this week alone for some sympathy cards. So I'm going to use You're in My Thoughts. And I'm totally off track. I need my flowers. So I've got my greenery and my flowers. And then I need a block for my sentiment for later. Okay, back on track. So I've got my white tag and I'm going to take my greenery. So I've got the long skinny one, as you can see. Oops. Better. So what I want to do is one from the bottom. So I'm going to kind of come up like this. And then I want one coming down from the top. So I'm going to come out of the corner up here. And then I'm going to do my florals in the Highland Heather. I think I'm just going to rearrange my ink a little bit here because it's pretty, doesn't seem very inky. So if you find that your ink isn't distributing well, I usually just, you can use a plastic spoon. You can tell my poor bone folders, they're so stained, but I just rearrange my ink a little bit. And 90% of the time I'll get a better stamp if I do that. Yeah, much better. Okay, so now I'm going to line up my flowers. like, I have to think about this. I think it goes this way. Yeah, so there's one, and I'm going to flip this around and do this one. There. And I was a little bit off here, but I'm not concerned because, oops, I just lost my little things went flying, because my circle is going to cover my boo-boo. So I'm not worried about that at all. So I'll go ahead and close that up. So then I'm going to layer my labels together like this. And I'm just going to put a little squirt of glue on this side like this. I put it on the wrong side. I'm telling you, I'm like right out with the pixies here today. Holy jumping. Okay, I'm just going to take that off because I want it to go this way. And that fell out of my bottle. I'm going to use that. That's fine. Totally out of sync today for some reason. Is it a full moon? I don't even know. There. There, and I'm just lining up my holes because my ribbon's going to go through there. And then, oh, I need to put a little bit of glue on my little washer. There, and that's just going to go right there. Okay, so I have a piece of this ribbon. I had my spool here. I don't know whether oh no, here it is. Georgia was up in my desk a while ago. So it's this one, and I don't remember what group. Does anybody remember what group this is from? Is this the one that came with the copper ribbon? I don't remember. Sorry, guys. But this is what I'm using, and I have about 5 inches or so. And I'm just gonna cut cut like it in a wedge. Oh, it comes with the real red. Shannon thinks. That could be. I knew it was part of a pair, and normally I write on the spool, and I didn't on this one for some reason. So I'm just cutting this so that they're wedged. And I'm doing that for 2 reasons. One, it's way easier to get it through the hole if it's in a point. And 2, it just looks nice. There. Okay, so I'm going to pop this like this. And then I'm just going to have them like this. And I have a little bit of twine, the linen thread. So when it comes off the spool, it's really squirrely, like it's all over the place. Just take your bone folder and give it a little run, and it straightens it right out. See how unsquirrely that is now? So I'm just going to cut a piece off, and I'm going to tie a little bow around my ribbon. Like that. That's a little bow. I'm going to make a big bow and then make it smaller because my hands are too big. Ah, try that again. There we go. Okay. That's better. Okay. All right. So there's our little thing. And then our card base is here. And this again is Highland Heather. And I'm just going to glue this directly right onto here like this. Go. And then I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. Here we go. So I've got some dimensionals. There, okay. Alrighty, so I'm just going to put this kind of on an angle a little bit like that. I might have to trim my ribbons. They're just a little too tall for the card. There. So far, so cute. Let me see if I can find my purple circles that my little darling threw on the floor for me, I think. Oh, here they are. So one of the techniques that I showed in the evening class, but I'm going to show you how easy it is to emboss in any color, because we don't have purple embossing powder, but I'm going to emboss in purple. So to do that, I need clear embossing powder. I'm just going to clean this up before I have a disaster in my hands here. There. So I need clear embossing powder and I need my gorgeous green. So the first thing I want to do is take my embossing buddy. Now the embossing buddy, for those of you who don't have one or know what it is, it's just a little powder puff basically with some kind of powder in it. I'm not sure what it is, but it's powder. And then I'm going to take my sentiment and I'm going to ink it up in Versamark. And Versamark is just a clear watermark type ink. So it's clear. Oh, I'm going to open up my grate. Just want to get everything ready. Now the Versamark takes a long time to dry, but mine needs re-inking. I should do like a whole marathon of just re-inking all my blocks, all my ink pads, because I've been really negligent, really, to be honest with you. All right, so I'm going to stamp it in purple now with the Versamark on it first. So I'm going to line that up. And this is a snuggy little fit, but it fits. So just going to give it a second for everything to absorb. And then I'm just going to sprinkle clear embossing powder on it. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm going to take my tweezers and I'm just going to run my heat tool over my sentiment there. Let me know if it's too loud and I'll turn off my sound. So here we go. There we have purple. See how shiny that is? How pretty? And so now we have purple embossing. So that's that. And there was something else I wanted to do, and I don't remember what it is. Well, first things first, I'm going to put this onto my card, and I'm going to cover up my little boo-boo there. So what I need to do is put in dimensionals on this side where it's going to hang off of the tag, and just a little dot of glue where it's going to stick to the tag. So let me grab a dimensional. I'll just put one. So I'm just going to put it over on the one side here. Is that where I want it? Yep. And a little bit of glue right here, just to anchor it. So there's my card. And then I have some of the lavender, they're not called lavender, purple fine shimmer gems. And take your pick tool. And let's see, I'll just put a few of these around. There. So there's the outside of our card. Now for the inside, I just put one of these florals on the inside. So I'll just grab my garden green again. And I've got my piece that's 4 by 5 1/4. And I'll just ink up my greenery here. Oh, I shifted a little bit. Lovely. Okay, hang on. All right. Okay, and I need my Highland Heather. And I'm just going to line these up. And that's the inside of my card. And when I did my envelope, I did the same flower just on the front of the envelope. All right, so let's glue this into the inside of our card. There. So there's our first card. Isn't that cute? So this is the second card that we're going to be doing. And let me just grab my flowers here. And I'm going to actually, I don't know whether this sentiment will fit on there. It will not. So I'm going to swap out my sentiment because I do want to use that die. And I'm just going to say hello there. Okay. So for this one, I'm using the Everyday Detailed dies. So I'm using the large square and the large circle and the small sentiment tag or whatever you call frame. So for these three. So to do this card, I don't want to get ink. I feel like I have ink on everything. So my card base is Pool Party. And I'm just going to get rid of this because I find the purple is a little bit distracting. So let me just get rid of that. So my card base is Pool Party. And my first mat is, let me get my thing here, 3 3/4 by 5. And my designer series paper is the Softly Stippled, which, you know, to be honest with you, I didn't love it. But this, I really love this. And I saw this card and I wish I'd written the girl's name down. I saw this on Pinterest yesterday, a couple days ago, and I just fell in love with it. So this is the Softly Stippled floral. And on the back of this is like a weave in the weave. Oh, here comes the four-legged terrorist here. Scramola cat. What's that wheat? Wild wheat? Wild wheat, right? Is that what it's called? So we're going to use this side. And then I have another piece of a design. Oh, so this designer series paper is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. And then this piece is 2 7/8 by 3 7/8. And it's also softly stippled, and it's the one that looks like linen. And then I have a piece of basic white for the inside of the card. And then I have a piece of scrap that is about 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 to cut out my circle. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my cut and emboss machine. And I'm going to line up the large rectangular die centered on my card. And I'm just going to use a little piece of washi tape to hold it in place because I want it centered. The only thing about this this set is the confetti. I have little confetti everywhere. Yep. Okay. So let's see. Let me get my stuff back in order here. So I'm going to fold my card base. And I used a little sort of technique when I was doing the prototype. I couldn't figure out how I was going to get let's get this out of here. There. I couldn't figure out how I was going to get the innards into the frame, because this is going to go like this. So I just have a 1/16 of an inch frame, but this is slightly bigger than the hole, but I didn't want to cover up the holes. So what I did with this is I just put a little bit of glue along the bottom, and I centered this like this. But I don't have glue anywhere else. And then I put some glue on the back of this and lifted this up and just nestled this in here underneath the frame because I didn't want to cover up my holes because I want the black to show. There. So now I can go ahead and peel this back and just add some glue to it. Like that. Isn't that cute? Cute, cute. Alrighty. So that's our card. And then this is just going to go right on here. And you could put it up on dimensionals, and I didn't because I was going to put my circle on dimensionals as well as my sentiment. And if you're going to mail things, sometimes they get a little bit particular about, I'm just going to cover up that glare, see if that works. There. The post office gets a little bit particular if you're if you have too much dimension in your card. And it's funny because at Christmas time, I sent the same card to a lot of people, and I got 2 or 3 of them back. Just got a bit of glue there. 2 or 3 of them back saying insufficient postage. because of the dimension, even though probably 15 others of the exact same card went with no issues whatsoever. So I think it depends who's sorting the mail on any given day. Oh, I was going to do this in black. So because this is black, I decided to do the leaves in the memento. And while it sounds like it's going to look really harsh, it actually isn't. And I took out the wrong flowers. Okay, I swapped out the flowers thinking I was doing a different card. This is the one I want. Okay. Swap me back. I'm totally discombobulated today for some reason. I don't know. I think I need a vacation.
Sorry, my mood probably rubbed off on you.
No, I've been like this all day. You know what? I'm on a deadline with quilts right now. I've got quilts coming out of my wazoo, and my machine is packed up to go to Iowa to the manufacturer for an overhaul because there's something wrong with it. It sounds like a cement truck, my big quilting machine. Georgie, don't you dare. She's trying to throw my basket of scraps on the floor. And so I have a loaner machine, and the loaner machine, there's an issue with one of the encoders, which is the wheel that drives the way the stitches stitch. And I was getting stitches that were like an inch long instead of 10 stitches per inch. So I spent the majority of the day FaceTiming with my dealer, trying to troubleshoot this. And we finally got it running, and I did get 1.5 quilts done. But so it's kind of thrown me because my whole day that I thought was going to be so productive was like not productive at all. I shouldn't say not productive at all, but not as productive as I would have liked it. So now I need my pool party, which I just had my pool party right here. And I just want to make sure that I got all the purple off of this because I don't want purple in my pool party. So let me grab my scrap again. I just want to make sure that this is going to stamp okay. I think I'll do the same thing as I did with my other, just rearrange my ink a little bit. I do this on a regular basis. You know, don't feel that it's something wrong with the ink pad if you have to redistribute your ink. Keep in mind that it's just a sponge, and ink will, you know, especially if you stamp in the middle all the time, the ink is going to disperse. So don't hesitate to rearrange it and give it a little bit of a shake up. That's better. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to line up my flowers. Am I on the screen? Nope. Get ink all over everything. So I wish you could see Georgie. She's perched herself right on the very edge. Her bum is actually hanging off the edge of the table at the back there because she won't get off, but she, you know, at least she's not walking in front of the camera like she usually does. There. Okay. So while it's black, it doesn't actually, to me, it looks dark green instead of black. So that's our little circle, and that's going to go here. And I am going to pop it up on dimensionals. Maybe. Oh, yeah. Okay, and then I need a scrap of, there we go. So I have a little scrap of pool party, and I'm going to emboss in the black embossing powder. So again, first thing I'm going to do is use my embossing buddy. And what the embossing buddy does is if you have like oil on your skin on your fingers, it's going to alleviate fingerprints, and it's also going to alleviate any static that you might have, so that the powder, especially black or white on a dark color, isn't going to go where you don't want it to go. All right, so where's my Versamark ink is here. And I'm just going to ink up my hello there. Okay, and I'm just going to center it. And I've got my black embossing powder. Oof, what a mess. So with this one, I don't have a little cup to grab it with, so I'm just going to dip it. There. All right, so let me grab my heat tool.
So while
All right, so I'm just going to pop that in the corner like that. And then this is going to sit here. So I'm just going to put one dimensional on the end here.
that's so pretty.
Oh, and so I just wanted to just show you there. You can see the shininess from the embossing powder. I love embossing powder. So that's just going to sit there. Put a little glue under there just to anchor it. A little bit. Boy, it was the size of a jelly bean. Yikes. Okay. And then my black twine is here. And actually what I should have done, because I wasn't thinking, is snips. This desk, honest to God, it's such a mess. I think what I'll do is I'll just kind of make like a little, whatever that is, and just stick it under here. There. A little ragged, but anyway, you get the drift. And then I'm using the classic matte dots in black. And I'm just going to put a few little dots around. There. And that's the card.
Very nice.
Cute. Very, very cute.
And then here's my guy. So there you go. So there are the two cards that we did in class this week, or two of them, featuring the Softly Sophisticated bundle from Sale-a-bration, as well as the Softly Stippled paper, also from Sale-a-bration. And if you check out my blog, you will see, I will post the dimensions there for you. Thanks again for watching. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you soon.